We are the Center for Advanced Research on Language Acquisition, and our mission is to improve language teaching and learning at the national level. So we do tons of stuff with you folks here at the U of M, but many of the professional development activities and the resources that we create are disseminated to a national audience. So we have people from all over the country and actually all over the world participating in our programming. Has anybody ever taken a Summer Institute with us? I know a lot of you have. So you probably met folks from different countries when you did that, right? And so we're really excited to be able to be a resource to the local community, but also to be able to share what we do with the rest of the world. We realize our mission by conducting research, by creating free resources for teachers that we publish on our website, and by doing professional development like this event or our Summer Institute program, and so on and so forth. We're funded by the U.S. Department of Education, so we are a National Language Resource Center. We're one of 16 National Language Resource Centers in the United States. They're at universities all over the country. And our grant supports a number of different initiatives, but before I talk about that, we want to unveil that we have a new website. Woo! So it's not officially launched. It's still in development. We haven't hit the publish button yet, but you can see what the homepage looks like. So the CARLA team has been furiously working on putting together the new website. We've been working with IT from GPS Alliance, who've been helping us with all of this. And it should be a lot easier to navigate for all of you. It's going to be easier to find our events on there. So we're super excited about this. We think it's going to launch maybe next week, within the next week or so. So keep an eye out for that. All of the same materials will be available. We'll have all of our old projects archived, and so you can get back to those, and then we'll keep adding new information to it. What's really cool is that on the website, we'll be able to feature our projects in a much more visually appealing way. And so this is what this is going to look like. So I mentioned that we're funded by a Language Resource Centers grant. And so we have 7 initiatives that we're funding through that grant. And they fall into 2 different categories. We have a language and content integration category and a teacher education and advocacy category. And you can see how the projects are organized according to those different categories. So we want to give you an update about what we've been doing about all these different projects over the last year. This is we've just started the 3rd year of this grant. So we're going to talk to you about what we did during year 2 and what we're excited about coming up during year 3. And so the first one we're going to talk about is the Social Justice Initiative. And so I'm going to hand things over to my wonderful colleague, Helena, who will tell you a little bit about that initiative.
Yes. All right. So I always feel very honored to be able to work on this Social Justice and Language Education Initiative. I'm one of the initiative leaders, but I work very closely with Mandy, Menke, Kate Paesani, and Lauren Goodspeed from French and Italian. And the purpose of this initiative is to improve understanding and application of critical pedagogies by researching student and teacher learning in social justice classrooms and offering a suite of professional development activities. One of these that we're really excited about is that we just published our first podcast episode for We Teach Languages. And this was a podcast that was produced by, put together with practicing teachers who have participated in our CARLA social justice workshops and then in one of our subsequent professional learning circles. The first one that came out is, you see here, Strengthening Asian Representation in Our Language Classrooms with Christy Lentz. So we're really excited about that. We have a couple more podcast episodes coming out soon and also a number of other upcoming workshops. So keep your eye out for announcements about those things. That's something. And then on the research side of things, we have been sort of busy wrapping up our teacher side focus and thinking about teachers when working with critical pedagogies, working on an upcoming special issue of Critical Inquiry in Language Studies on deconstructing the critical in critical pedagogies. And this is something that's stemming out of a day-long workshop we had at ILA in summer of 2023. And there are a number of other articles that came out this past year and that will be coming out, including one in the Modern Language Journal. And the articles to date have focused primarily on teachers of most commonly taught languages, so Spanish, French, German. And now we're kind of starting to sift through the data on the teachers of less commonly taught languages. And so we'll be having, we're presenting at ACTFL on that, and I believe Kate and Mandy will be giving a talk later this semester on some of that, looking at some of that data. So something here at CARLA. Amazing. So yes, here at CARLA, it's going to be happening. So tune back in, and hopefully you'll be able to make that talk. And then I'm super excited because we are kind of changing some of our focus and attention to the student learning and how students learn in these social justice classrooms. And so at ACTFL, we'll be presenting also a little bit on students' development of critical language awareness in social justice classrooms. And we have other projects planned, and we'll be collecting data on those this year. So really exciting stuff happening. And this project also incorporates critical pedagogies, so both social justice, but also multiliteracies. And in that sense, it's also related to the Literacies in Language Education Initiative, which is, I believe, the next one. Should I flip this? Transition, Helena. Thanks. And for that, I'm going to have Mandy, I think, is going to talk about it.
Well, it's good to see so many of you here today, and I'm excited to share what we've been up to in the Literacies in Language Education project within CARLA. So Kate and I co-lead this initiative, and when we did the first project for the first cycle of funding, I think probably not necessarily intentionally, but because we have our roots in French and Spanish teaching, it focused primarily on the more commonly taught languages. So in this cycle of funding, we've been really wanting to be intentional about incorporating a focus on less commonly taught languages. So one of the highlights from this past year is that we had a series of 2 workshops that were specifically targeting LICTL teachers and how to incorporate multiliteracies pedagogy into the teaching of less commonly taught languages. We invited 2 colleagues from other universities to lead those workshops. One is Yuri Kumagai from Smith College, and she works in Japanese. And then we had Borby Gaspar from the University of Arizona, who works in Italian. So we had different types of languages represented so that we could meet different needs within our LICTL teacher population. And so there were 2 workshops that happened this past year that was really exciting. And so as we think, and oh yeah, you can see them right there. As we think towards next year and what we're planning for this coming year, there's 2 things that we're thinking about. One is we're looking forward to publishing some of the materials that have come out of these workshops. So the teachers did these workshops, and then they've created lessons. They've worked with the leaders of the workshop series to create lessons that now we can publish on the CARLA website so that others can use those lessons. They're open educational resources. They can use them, or they can also use them as models to inspire them to implement multiliteracies pedagogy with other texts or around other topics in their own teaching. So we will be publishing those probably, next month or so. I was going to say this fall sometime. So that's really exciting for us to be able to feature the work that's happening in other languages. The other piece of this year is that we're also going to be filming teachers implementing this in their classrooms. One of the things when we work with teachers that we hear a lot from them is, how does this look, right? What does this look like in an actual classroom? How do the students respond to this? How do you deal with this situation? And so we are going to be asking maybe some of you even to come into your classrooms, film it, and then we can segment out little videos that exemplify the different knowledge processes or different activity types that can be used with multiliteracies pedagogy. So that won't be published this year, but we're laying the groundwork for that. So that's something that I'm really excited about because I think it'll have a big impact and be really meaningful for teachers. Those of you who have maybe used the Annenberg series as models, right? This is like our contribution to that type of thing. So we're really excited about that. All right, and I'm passing it back to Kate, who's going to talk about secondary dual language instruction.
Yeah, so the last initiative that falls under the language content integration umbrella of our grant project is our project on secondary DLI materials and research. And this initiative is led by Corey Matthew, who's a graduate of the Multilingual Education Program in the Department of Curriculum Instruction here at the University of Minnesota. And she is now at Western Washington University. So she's working on a project that is including a combination of developing materials that will be piloted in dual language and immersion classrooms, and then researching the process of developing those materials and how teachers engage with the creation process. And so one thing that happened last year for this initiative in our grant is that she offered a very successful online Summer Institute on dual language and immersion education, along with a teacher practitioner who teaches in an immersion classroom. And she's about ready to complete the first round of materials creation that will be, is it a social studies lesson that she's working on, I think? So it's a language content integrated social studies lesson that will be published on the CARLA website, we hope in the coming year. So we're really excited about that. So our second focal area is on teacher education and advocacy. And one of the initiatives under that umbrella is called Practical Program Evaluation. And this is a collaboration that we have with ACTFL. For those of you who don't know what ACTFL is, it's the largest professional association for language educators in the United States. And so we're working with Meg Malone and Celia Zamora, who are experts in program evaluation. And each year they're offering a program evaluation summer institute that has a little bit of a different flavor each time. So this past year they did one on that was targeted for heritage language teachers and how they can evaluate their programs and use the evidence that they collect from that to improve their curriculum and instructional practices. And the thing that we're really excited about for this year is that they're actually going to be working on creating program evaluation materials stemming from their summer institutes that will be made available on the CARLA website, so that if language programs want to evaluate the effectiveness of the work that they can do, they can download these materials and use them to sort of understand what's working well and what isn't working well. I think they're also going to do some little videos to explain how to use the material, so it should be very practical for folks who want to use it. Okay, the next initiative under the teacher education and advocacy umbrella is our Seals of Biliteracy. So I'm going to hand things over to Kendall King and Ayumi Stockman, who lead this initiative.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, and Andrew, sorry I didn't introduce you.
That's okay.
I apologize.
I'm Kendall King, and I'm here with my partner in this project, Ayumi Stockman from Minnesota Department of Education, and Andrew Fegan, who's one of the RAs, super RAs, along with Teen Nguyen, who couldn't be here today. So this is a little bit of a shift from the previous projects in that this is the aim of the project is to support equity and access to state seals of biliteracy and bilingualism. For those of you who don't know, seals are awards that high school students get upon graduation when they can demonstrate proficiency in typically English and another language. So these are available now in all 50 states. However, we know from lots of research that access to these programs and to these awards is uneven at best. So this project is meant to address that. So this year we launched the Minnesota site, which is chock full of resources. You can look at all of the stuff we have there. We also, oh, and you can see how, is this forward? You can also see that it was quite widely used. We are proud to see there were more than 4,000 unique visitors, and what sites they visited we can now see thanks to Google Analytics. So that was exciting to launch that and to get lots of positive feedback. We also, Ayumi and I ran a CARLA Summer Institute that was well attended and successful. This year, we are excited about promoting and fine-tuning our national site that we developed over the summer. SEALS programs, of course, vary widely or considerably by state. So this site's a little bit different in that we couldn't offer the same level of specificity of the tools, but we do still have lots of promotional materials in lots of languages. And then we have some new things like comparison overviews. So a potential employer, a university administrator can kind of see what proficiency levels line up to what awards and how that varies by state. And then some range of other tools. So we are looking forward to kind of doing a soft launch, including on the new website. And Ayumi has started to push this out to her colleagues, and you'll present on this at ACTFL in the fall, right?
November.
And then we'll be hosting a national CARLA Institute in summer 2025. Our summer 2024 one was focused on Minnesota professionals. Our 2025 one will serve administrators and language teachers across the country. Did I leave anything out?
If I want to add that these websites are received very well by our colleagues and teachers and across the nation. I want to say that this is like a first ever kind of a toolkit. I call it toolkit website because there are lots of resources that schools can download and then use it instead of creating from scratch. So getting lots of positive feedback, and then particularly for the national level, the proficiency levels award conversion chart for the 50 states kind of piqued interest among my colleagues who are the language specialists at each state agencies, because it's really demonstrated how the criteria are so varied so different across among the 50 states.
And we also have a really simple calculator there that you can enter in your actual proficiency level, your state, and then what award you might be eligible for.
And I really want to thank you, Andrew, along with the other ones that who couldn't be here, that the powerhouse of this project.
Powerhouse.
So,
And tea.
Yeah. Tea. Yeah. So thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so next project, what is next? Oh, the International Language Teacher Education Conference. So this was a conference that we held at CARLA in May of this year. Many people in this room presented at the conference and attended the conference, so thank you for your support of the conference. We were really happy with the way that it went. We had some wonderful plenary presenters, including Tracy Kwan, who gave a very compelling talk about her own language teacher journey and talked about critical language awareness and various other things. That was one of the plenaries that received the most positive feedback in our evaluations. And you can see that we had participants from all over the US and across the world in that conference. And what we're really looking forward to is not having to host it ourselves in 2 years, but rather to pass it off to our sister LRC called Pearl at the University of Maryland. So we've already been meeting with them to start talking about passing the torch to them. We host it every 4 years, and then we have one of our sister LRCs host it in the off years. Because it's a little bit too taxing on the amazing CARLA staff to have to do that every 4 years. And we like to spread it around at different areas in the country. I think this is a tradition that Elaine started when she was directing CARLA, that we would sort of split it with other LRCs so that it could be in different locations on the East Coast and the West Coast. Is that accurate, Elaine? Was that your brainchild? Yeah. Probably Karin. Okay. Well, Karin and Elaine. Okay. Okay, and let's see. Next, we've got the Language Program Direction Initiative. So this is an initiative that I oversee. There hasn't been too much movement on it in the past year. We do support the publication of second language research and practice, which is an open access referee journal that's focused on post-secondary language education. We published, Volume 4 was published in 2023. Volume 5 is about to come out any minute. The thing that was exciting for me related to this highlight was that I used to be the co-editor of that journal, and I passed that off to somebody, so that was really wonderful. And it's in the capable hands of Senta Gertler and Jesse Gleason. So we're looking forward to issue 5. And what's coming up this year is that we'll be publishing 2 new modules. They're self-study modules for new or aspiring language program directors who need professional development. We often don't get any formal training in how to be a director of language instruction or a coordinator or supervisor. And so the idea is that this project will fit that gap. And so we have 2 coming up, one on selecting and adapting the textbook for language programs and one on evaluating language teachers. So keep an eye out for those. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is dissemination. And so this wonderful Karin Larson, the Assistant Director of CARLA.
Yes, I get to work with all these wonderful people, helping them disseminate their projects. You heard some people saying, oh, we do workshops, or we're doing a summer institute. All of these initiatives have some kind of dissemination, whether it's a CARLA presentation, workshop, or institute. In this past year, as you can see, we had 12 presentations, 8 Saturday workshops, and 14 summer institutes. All of them were well attended, and they all had an international reach. This fall, we're looking forward to offering 5 free online presentations. This was our first event. We have 5 following. And then 2 low-cost Saturday workshops for teachers. We have information about these in a flyer at the back of the room, and also it's, of course, online. We also work to support our own language teaching community, and we have several programs that we're excited to participate in every year. One of them is a special scholarship program. We partner with the Language Center to offer scholarships for PNA language instructors and graduate students to attend a CARLA Summer Institute for free. This past year, we had 5 scholarships awarded. And then the awardees share the ideas they gleaned from the Institute at a Teaching Ideas Roundtable, which is a CARLA presentation. You can see how this kind of all comes back around. We hope that you'll consider applying for that. The applications will open in January. We also run a program called the CARLA Fellow Program, and it is designed to support advanced level graduate students at the university in the area of second language learning and/or teaching. And the awardees receive a $1,000 travel reimbursement to either attend or present at a language-related conference. They are also invited to give a CARLA presentation. Applications are due on Monday, November 4th. So this fall, the information is, of course, online, and we'll share it through the CARLA newsletter, and I also have a flyer for that at the back of the room. So graduate students, please take a look at that. We also have a graduate research assistant competition, and this provides funding for graduate research assistants to support university faculty in conducting research projects that reflect CARLA's mission to improve language teaching and learning. The applications for this will open in January, and people who do that over the summer then give a CARLA presentation. And we have a couple of those also coming up. It is. And we hope that you'll take advantage of them. You can see the list of them up here, again, online, and there are flyers in the back of the room. And I will also say that there are a couple of things that didn't make this list. Some of the initiatives kind of find their own people to present. So there's going to be a social justice presentation and a free workshop. And there's also one for the Literacies for Lictals workshop in December. And once we have all the details, that will also be up on our brand new website. So stay tuned. And now I will turn it back to Kate.
Yeah, so you've met me, you've met Karin, Assistant Director. In the back of the room is Liz Hellebeck. She's our administrative wizard. I know that's not the unofficial name, the Wizard Princess, right? But we're really excited because we have a 4th member of the CARLA team who just joined us in July, Amanda Ramju. So there's Amanda. Amanda is our new technology-enhanced education project director. Did I get it right? Technology Enhanced Language Education Director. So It's a long title, so sometimes it's hard to, it's easy to add extra words or forget some of the words. But some of you knew Marlene Johnsoy. She retired in October after working at CARLA for over 20 years, we think. We're not 100% sure how many years it was. But she's left an indelible memory on all of us. But we wanted to have somebody new to take over her position and to bring some fresh life into the position. And so we're really excited because Amanda ticked all the boxes for us, and she's going to be doing a lot of work on AI in language education. And so we're really happy to be kind of moving CARLA in that direction. So this fall, Amanda's going to be giving a talk on an intercultural classroom project that she's done. She's giving a workshop on lesson planning using AI. And in summer 2025, she'll be teaching a 3-day summer institute on AI and language education. So please introduce yourself to Amanda. I know there's a lot of technology curious people in the room. And so this is your person to talk to. And she's brand new to the U and looking to meet lots of people and make connections. So don't be shy and go say hello. We want to thank you for coming today. There's plenty of time for you to get some more food, to mingle. This is a great opportunity to meet other like-minded folks on campus and to help build our language education and applied linguistics community. So please stick around and chat, and I'm looking forward to talking with all of you some more, and thank you for coming today.